Good morning.
Morning. Today we're going to talk about kingdom fungi. All right, so let's talk about kingdom fungi. Morning, everybody. Right. Give me like 10 to 15 minutes. Loving you, okay? Right. What are fungi? All right, kingdom fungi is or the mushroom kingdom. They are classified into 5 major phyla. Okay, we have the phylum Zygomycota, which is also considered as the bread molds. Okay, as you can see here, okay, at the right side, when you can see on your bread, some of these dark ones or some green ones are called the bread molds. Black bread mold, it's called a black, sorry, rhizopus. Okay, that's rhizopus, so that is from phylum Zygomycota. Another one is phylum Oomycota, the water molds. You see this? Have you tried cutting your potatoes and then you can see some potato blight or water molds? This is it, okay? That's the water molds or phylum Oomycota. All right. Let's go back to all right. Next one here, we are going to talk about phylum Ascomycota. This is the sac fungi. So as you can see here at the right side, the yeast, morels, and truffles are examples of phylum Ascomycota. Um, we have phylum Basidiomycota. These are called the club fungi. Okay, this is the sac fungi, by the way. Side, and this is the club fungi. You can see here, mushrooms, puffballs, bracket fungi, rusts, smuts, and toadstools are examples. And the last but not the least is phylum Deuteromycota or the fungi imperfecti. You can see here. Have you ever seen this before? So that's an example of phylum. Okay, what are the characteristics of this fungi? They made up of chitin or chitin. Okay, their cell wall is made up of chitin. Okay, what are chitins or chitins? Right, as you can see here. And does anybody know? Write in the chat box what chitins are or chitin. What is that? Right? I will come back. I will wait for your answers. Um, and fungi are heterotrophs and they are major decomposers. When you say heterotrophs, they cannot make their own food. They have to depend on other organisms to make food. Right? Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. Next, number 3 characteristic is that their body is made of long filaments of hyphae, which form a mycelium. All right? So, as you can see on the chat box, guys, what are chitins? Chitins are, A fibrous substance consisting of polysaccharides and forming the major constituent of the exoskeleton of arthropods and the cell walls of fungi. Another, what's the function? It is to create the cell wall, much like the cellulose in plants. It's like cellulose in plants, and the chitin is deposited extracellularly with proteins and other molecules. So that's it. And they reproduce sexually or asexually. Okay, when you say sexually, they have to mate with other hyphae filaments. Asexually, they have to use their spores. Right, so this is the common molds. Have you ever seen this before? I know you do. They are primarily decomposers, and those asexual spores may be produced in sporangia. Can you find this? All right, sexual reproduction occurs between plus and minus strains, forming a 2N zygote. Okay, a zygote spore develops and may lie dormant for a long period of time, and meiosis occurs just before germination. But take note that only the zygote, or those fertilized egg, is diploid, two sets of chromosomes. One, all hyphae and asexual spores are haploid. So you can see here, if you can see the bread, and you can do some experiment in your houses, or even like if you don't touch it, you don't eat your bread for 2 to 3 weeks or 1 month. Now you can see this kind of molds. We call it the bread mold, the Oomycete fungi. Right? Look at this. Okay, the fungal mass of hyphae known as mycelium penetrates the bread and produces fruiting bodies on top of the stalks. So when you can see mycelia, that's the plural of mycelium. This is a mass of hyphae or filaments of this. You can see the red molds, right? Rhizoids, on the other hand, they are like roots, but they are hyphae, root-like hyphae. Rhizoids, they meet underground, and mating occurs between hyphae of different molds. That is sexual reproduction, right? So this is one example of this rhizopause and how mating strain occurs by asexual reproduction through their spores. So as you can see here, this is the fungi at the back of there. They have the spores that um, that made it. Okay, that's the mating strain. And fertilization happens when there's the sexual reproduction by gametangia of this positive and the negative strains. This is also the mating strains here. So I will talk more about reproduction as we go along. So this is the mating of two hyphae of different mating type, grow side by side and produce branches that go toward each other. Positive side and the negative side. And what will happen as you go here, the steps, zygospore 2N is being produced. What about water molds? They are better known as mildews. Have you ever seen this before? The fish tank fuzz is an example. See in your fish tank, right? So these proteus-like mold are great because they share common characteristics with plant-like proteus, such as the cell wall. As you can see here at the left side. So these are fungus. So what about those oomycete or water molds? They are called mildews or water molds. They cause diseases such as potato blight when you cut the potato. Okay, the cell walls of this oomycete or water molds have multiple nuclei. They are made of cellulose, and hyphae have multiple nuclei because the cell walls do not fully close off many nuclei. The spore swims away like a flagellate, which is why it is proteus-like. Okay? Then let's talk about cup fungi. Have you ever seen this before? Right in the chat box, if you have seen this before, we're almost done, guys. Cup fungi or the Oomycete fungi, like a cup. When you can see, that's why they're called cup, because it's like an orange peel cup. Okay, shapes. Another one is yeast. Okay, yeast that you can add on to your bread, when you bake bread. Yeast. Right. What about truffles? Truffles are round, warty fungi that are irregular in shape. They vary from the size of a walnut to that of a man's fist, right? So from small to big. Since the times of the Greeks and Romans, these fungi have been used in Europe as delicacies. They use as delicacies or aphrodisiacs and as medicines too. Have you ever seen this and have you used this as your medicine? They are among the most expensive of the world's natural foods. Why? They are valued as much as $250 to $450 per pound. It's very expensive. Okay. So truffles are harvested in Europe with the aid of female pigs or truffle dogs, which are able to detect the strong smell of mature truffles underneath the surface of the ground. The female pig becomes excited when she sniffs a chemical that is similar to the male swine sex attractant. You know, as we talk about the kingdom animal, yeah, that some also give off the pheromones to invite mating partners. So it's the same as this. These truffles, okay, made it's the same smell as the male swine would like to attract or to call on some female swine for sex, right? For the mating season. The use of dogs to find truffles is also an option. So this is another one. I hope you have watched this or you have found this one. Morels, okay? These are also found, okay? Go outside in the forest. And look at this, the club-like fungi or Basidiomycete fungi. So you can see here, we have this has the cap, the gills here, those is like the gills of the fish. So that's why they're called gills. And this one here, the mushroom fruiting structure grows from N plus N. That is dikaryotic hyphae, right? So look at the gills of this underside of the mushroom's cap. They are lined with basidia, from which basidiophores are shed into the air, so they can make growth. Another one is bracket fungi. Have you ever seen this in the trees, in the logs? When you go to find something. All right, so next one is you can see here some of these fungi in the forest. Okay, and this basidiomite, the bracket fungi, you can find on the trees. This puffballs, this kind of mushroom and jelly fungi. Other basidiumites, rust and smuts too. Okay, like this, the rust infecting a leaf. You said, what happened to the leaf? Why it's like this? It's because of the fungi. Okay, the rust infecting the wet leaves as well. Sorry, the wheat rot smut digesting old wood. So what about this? Another classification is the Deuteromycota or imperfect fungi. Why are they considered imperfect? Okay. Why? Because they exhibit no sexual stage that has been observed in the life cycle. So members of this phylum are not closely related and are necessarily similar in structure appearance. They do not share a common ancestry. Okay. Like this examples here. Have you ever seen this before? Okay. The fungi imperfecti resembles the ascomites, but their reproductive cycle has never been observed. That's like this penicillium fungi. Okay, in the oranges, you can see this one. Um, when you see also this, different from ascomycetes because there is a definite lack of sexual reproduction, which is why they are called imperfect fungi. They lack the sexual reproduction. All right, what about lichens? They are mutualistic symbiotic organisms, meaning they 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 feed, they live on these trees on this certain ground. However, they don't destroy this habitat or habitat. That's why it's called mutual. They help each other. They have a fungal portion and an algal portion. Fungi and an algae. There are three lichen growth forms which are predominant in nature. So we have this one, two, and three. All right, so we have crustose, foliose, and another one is fructicose. These are the three lichens. So, what are Suridia? Maybe I'll just have some of this. These are the asexual reproductive part of lichens, containing both symbionts. Like you can see this one here, rhizines can be present to anchor the lichen. Some may not. There are also algal layer and the fungal layer. Okay, algal layer. The ascospores in this side here, and these are the Suridia or the seeds compared to the seeds. Mycorrhizae, this is it. This is the fungus root, or like in the plants, the roots. Okay, mycorrhizae has a mutual relationship between plants and fungi, so they don't destroy the plants and the fungi. They help each other. It's called mutual, like mutual understanding between. If you have a mutual understanding between two, your friend, girlfriend, boyfriend, that's the same way as this plants and fungi. Okay, the plant photosynthesizes to make their own food, while the fungus more efficiently takes up nutrients and water from the rhizosphere than the roots would alone. So, what are the benefits? They improve nutrient water uptake, they improve root growth and improve plant growth and yield. They improve disease resistance and reduce transplant shock. Also, they reduce drought stress. So, those are the information about kingdom fungi. Thank you, and I hope you can now answer the characteristics of fungi and the five phyla that I just discussed a while ago. You're gonna write it down on the questions and write one examples each. Right? Good luck, everybody, and finish up your project and make up any missing assignments. Okay? So, do you have any questions, Alexander, Kaya, Cyrus, Elias, Olivia, and the others? If not, I'll give you the rest of the time. Those of you who are exempted in the final exam, if you get 80% or more, you are exempted from the final exam. I'll give you um, a reminder. I'll give you a reminder. I will email you who are exempted for the final exam for biology, and also what you need to still do, right? So at this time, just do the assignment on Canvas, do the project, and I will let you go first. I will record Kingdom Plante from yesterday, and I will post it on Canvas as well, right? So, great day. This is being recorded, and I will post this recorded video soon. Have a great day, everyone. Bye bye. I'll just check your attendance. All right. Have a great day, everybody.